what does excellent franchisee support look like? A lot of people think that support means you do the work for them while they can sit on the sideline. In our network, we've got what's called a franchise resource center,
which is what everyone wants to see in a business. You want to see progress and growth, and it's good to have that little push to remind you where you're at and show those little growths where sometimes you can be feeling down.
If you're just going to do a little bit of effort across all those, you're going to get nothing done. Hey everyone, welcome to Courtside Conversations. My name's Emile, founder and owner of Little Boomers Basketball, and it's a pleasure to be your host today. Wherever you're watching today's episode, I hope you're having a booming day, and yes, the pun is intended. My journey to entrepreneurship started on May 1st, 2018 when I launched my first basketball program with 9 kids enrolled. Today, thousands of kids across Australia are thriving in our programs, all thanks to the commitment and passion of our incredible franchisees. This podcast is here to give you real, straightforward, no BS insights into business, entrepreneurship, and what it's like to own a franchise. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Courtside Conversations. Today is another special episode because we are going to be co-hosted with Greg, our amazing franchise performance coach, who is a franchise performance coach, but also a franchisee. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit taboo, which is what does excellent franchisee support look like? Now, if you're inquiring about any franchise, you're going to see plastered all over the landing page, franchisee support. We offer franchisee support, 24/7 franchisee support. You're going to see those words scattered everywhere. But what we want to do in today's episode is actually break down what does excellent franchisee support look like? Because what you think support is versus what it actually is might be two different things. And if you can understand before you come into a franchise what good support is, then that will reduce any misunderstanding later on. So Greg, welcome back to Courtside Conversations.
Firstly, it's great to be back again, and we're looking forward to our chat.
All right, so Greg, I wanted to start this off by, in your opinion, defining support. So if you could simplify support, right, franchisee support, how would you define it?
Support is being available, being there for franchisees, and getting back to them. When you say, well, I think that's the keys.
So being available, helping them with their day-to-day inquiries. Let's talk about mistaking support from sitting on the sidelines. Now, a lot of people think that support means you do the work for them while they can sit on the sidelines, and I think that's a problem in franchising later on. We get to legal battles because they thought that they were going to do all the work for them. Can you kind of differentiate what support is versus sitting on the sidelines?
I guess support's guiding the franchisees in the right direction, ensuring that they will feel supported, ensuring that they know that they matter, and really putting the focus on giving them the right information so that they can be successful and achieve the goals that they have set, as well as goal setting and things like that for them as well.
So does that mean, Greg, that you do the work for them?
No, definitely not. So my job is to guide them, to be there for them, to answer their questions, and to try and ensure that they feel supported and that they are encouraged that they're going in the right direction. I think is important.
And that's a good distinction, Greg. So for example, if you're going to support a franchisee, let's say you do a one-on-one quarterly catch-up where you set your goals for the target. And let's say one of the goals that you set with your franchisee is they want to expand their business and open up a new location at a new venue. When you come up with that plan, you've guided and supported them to figure out that that's our area of focus, but you don't actually start calling venues for them, do you?
No. So my job is to call the venues. It's to put the steps in place that they need in order to be successful.
Yeah.
To guide them in the right direction, to show them the steps to take and to encourage them on when you do have a loss, because there's always wins around the corner as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing. Before you come into a franchise, just make sure you differentiate support from sitting on the sidelines. In any franchise, there should be really good support, most likely a field support officer, which we'll talk about a little bit later. However, the main thing is you need to understand that, yes, you're going to get support. There's going to be somebody available to help answer your questions, but the biggest thing is you need to make sure that you're willing to do the work. So if you come up with a plan and your field support officer says, we're going to do this, is that all good? Just remember, you need to actually do the work as well. So don't get support mixed up. Greg, let's talk about what excellent franchisee support looks like, and we can use examples in our network because I believe we provide franchisees with really good support. The first one is having a dedicated field support officer, which is exactly your role. Tell us more about that and how that helps franchisees succeed more in business.
So my job is to, as we mentioned before, definitely be available to the franchisees, get in weekly contact with all the franchisees, whether that's through text, through calls, ensuring that they know that I'm there to answer questions, which I'm pretty much available 24/7. It's definitely something I try to be as much as I can be. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And just guiding them in the right direction, setting goals, following up on those goals, touching base with them to ensure that we're working towards achieving those goals together.
What would be an example of like a franchisee might ask you something, day-to-day stuff that they might ask you that you can help and assist them with?
Well, they can ask me how to approach venues, how to look for coaches. I even give advice on coaches' applications, things like that, to ensure that they're kind of finding the right type of people to fit into their business as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to touch on something that is so important when we're talking about having a dedicated field support officer like yourself. I think it's safe to say, Greg, in business, there's going to be times of highs and times of lows, like when you're down in the dumps, right? A coach may have left you, and our industry coaches leave. You may be losing a venue. And I would say one of the biggest benefits is just having somebody to talk to get you through those tough times rather than just bottling up everything, keeping everything to yourself. Like having an ear to talk to, just go through some of the frustrations that you're facing.
I'd 100% agree, and I think that's part of my job, almost counsellor in some ways, to ensure that people are going in the right direction and just to know that they're being heard. I think that's important. Everyone likes to feel that they're being heard and being supported, and that's also part of my role as well, to make sure that they know that I am there for them and that we will go through these times, but there's always there's always a bridge to cross there that you'll be able to get over.
Counsellor / coach, two roles
exactly.
in one. Okay, so excellent franchisee support, we've talked about having a dedicated field support officer. The next point here that I have is having resources at your disposal. Now, in our network, we've got what's called a franchise resource centre, where if franchisees need pre-built marketing templates, they go to our marketing folder, they download the templates. If they need to see, okay, how do I open up a venue? How do I market my classes? We've got checklists and templates for all part of the business. How do you find a coach? These are the step-by-step guides you need to take to onboard your first coach. Those are resources that we've put together that are at the disposal of the franchisee. Tell us more about those resources, because you're a franchisee, you would use all those resources as well. How are those resources benefiting supporting the franchisees?
I mean, the resources are amazing that we have, where it is literally every single process that you need to do, as you mentioned, contacting schools, contacting childcare, and the steps to follow after that. It's very handy, and things even I go back to now. After being in owning my own franchise for quite a while, I still go back to them for reference to definitely get new ideas and motivation. And it's also something, I guess, part of my role as a support, that we do create new ones as things come up. We'll create new guides to ensure that we always have new things rolling, because you can never just rest on your laurels. So it's always about evolving and continuing to grow as an organisation as well.
100%, and I think also, Greg, one of the biggest benefits of having these resources disposable for you is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, imagine how much time it takes, for example, to put together an email with a professional marketing template for your daycare. You've got to compose the email, you've got to get the template ready. That's at least a couple of hours. I think knowing that you can just go to the folder, download this, copy the email, get it in there, get it done in 5 minutes. Think about how much time you're saving versus starting from scratch with all those. Hey, just quickly, if you're enjoying today's episode, it will mean the world to me if you can leave a positive review or share it with a friend that may benefit from this. I've also put some bonus resources in the description, including a real franchise case study that you can download under our Franchise Success Blueprint. Hope you find it useful. Enjoy the rest of the episode and rock on. Adios.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the beauty of your franchise, that you have that there and you have the tried and proven methods that are already in place, which if you follow these, and you do the correct steps, you will get results.
For sure. So we talked about having a dedicated field support officer, resources at your disposal. Let's talk about regular training events. This is what excellent franchisee support looks like. Regular training events. Now, we've got our big event happening tomorrow, our Peak Performance Coaching Clinic in New South Wales. All the coaches and franchisees come together for a team building exercise, but also to update the curriculum with new drills, keep things exciting and fresh. Why is hosting regular training events important as a franchisee?
I think it's to keep you fresh. There's always new ways to look at things and evolve. As we said, as time goes on, you find out better ways to do something. What worked today may not work tomorrow. And just having that support, getting everyone together, knowing that you're part of a network really helps as well. I think they're probably one of the main things for it.
I think so, and I think having those regular training events, like you said, the world's moving, things are moving fast. You've got to make sure that you're upskilling yourself, you're training your coaches, you're implementing new drills into the curriculum, and not just letting things go by, but also the team building exercise. Having a franchise, having franchisees in the network, our team building exercises. Tomorrow we're going to be playing a couple of basketball games, having fun on the court. I think that camaraderie makes it all more enjoyable running your business, doesn't it?
100%. I mean, like anything, everyone wants to feel like they belong, and everyone joining together really helps that. And I think it just helps with the relationships between franchisees as well. That once you physically know someone and you've had some fun, you're more likely to communicate and go for help.
So having a dedicated field support officer, resources at your disposal, regular training events. The next one is one-on-one coaching to grow your business. Now, any good franchise network should have one-on-one coaching, like business coaching, at least done on a quarterly fashion to help you grow your business. Because each franchise, even though it is the same, is different. There might be certain needs in different locations and certain things that work better at other locations. Talk us through, you're going to be doing very soon your one-on-one quarterly catch-ups with your franchisees. Talk us through why is it important, what does like a normal coaching session look like, and why that's important for the franchisee success.
I think it's important to really, so that you're setting your goals for the next quarter. What's your target, whether that's to get more schools, to get more venues, to get more coaches, to really have a clear focus and direction for the next 3 months. I think it's really important to see that, as well as review and basically celebrate the successes of the quarter before as well. I think that's all important to really keep your focus on a singular focus, so that each time you can grow each quarter and find a new avenue in which the business can thrive.
You mentioned something that was so key there that we spoke about in another episode in our podcast, which was keeping a clear and concise focus. And I think one of the pitfalls that business owners and entrepreneurs face, and I face it all the time, is the old theory called the shiny object syndrome, where we say, you know what, we're going to focus on this. And then maybe 2 days later, something else pops up. Well, that looks good. I'm going to focus on that. 3 months goes by and you look at your work log and activity, and you say, oh my goodness, I've got nothing done because I've scattered my attention across 15 different ideas. Rather, what we say and what Greg does is he looks at everything that you can focus on in the business, right? There's so many different things you can focus on in our franchise. Opening up more venues, approaching daycares, approaching schools, finding coaches. If you're just going to do a little bit of effort across all those, you're going to get nothing done. But if you singularly focus on one thing, my focus for the next 90 days is launching 2 new venues, then you're going to get things done. You're going to move the needle in your business. So I think that's probably the most important thing in, especially Greg's role, doing one-on-one coaching with the franchisees, is zoning in what that area of focus is going to be for the next 90 days.
100% agree. Yeah, that's what it's all about. To keep the focus, so they have that continued growth, but you're not overexpending, as you mentioned. If you've got your hand in multiple jars, then you're only going to get little bits. As if you put it all in one, you'll definitely find more success through that way.
100%. Now, I think the other good component of what excellent franchisee support looks like is some type of monthly online meeting, a monthly Q&A. And Greg recently held his first one in the network a couple of weeks ago, or maybe about 2 weeks ago. We have regularly monthly Q&As where all the franchisees hop onto a quick call for about 40 minutes. Talk us through the one that you conducted recently. How was it, and how does that benefit the franchisees, especially the new ones coming into the network?
Yeah, so it was really good. So we had the really high-performing and experienced franchisees jump on, as well as all the new guys as well. We're basically just an open forum. So last month was about finding the right coaches and how to keep your coaches as well, which is the number one theme in the business. And it was really, really insightful, and it was really great to have the more experienced guys jump on and share some of the learned experience that they've done while running a business that they can share with the new guys coming on board, so that they know what to expect and ways that you can ensure that you have your as much success as you can.
For sure. Final point here that I've made a note, Greg, is admin support. I think excellent franchise support is also helping in admin work.
100%.
Now, you're a franchisee, so you do a lot with the day-to-day admin. How do you find our admin support, and what does admin help you as a franchisee? Like, what can they help with some of that admin stuff?
Yeah, well, the admin support that we have here is amazing. We've got a few different admin offices available to support you, where they can provide you with stats, with information, as well as celebrating your wins as well, and keeping up to date with your enrollments and where you're going with that, which I think is an amazing thing to get as well, to know that where you were the year before and where you are now. It's good to see the growth and progress, which is what everyone wants to see in a business. You want to see progress and growth, and it's good to have that little push to remind you where you're at and show those little growths where sometimes you can be feeling down. Then you'll see that and you're like, oh wow, actually I'm going way better than I was this time last year, because those things can be left behind in the past and you forget about where you were to where you are now, because you get so caught up in the moment.
Yeah, tracking your progress. And I think as a franchisee, like let's say you're editing a class and you're stuck. I don't know how to edit this class. Having someone available to show, hey, this is how you edit your class. This is what you need to do.
100%. And they're always available, which is awesome.
Cool. So Greg, we spoke about a lot in today's episode. Let's quickly summarize everything and then we'll be on our beautiful Saturday, because we've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. So I think firstly, making sure that we define what support is. Support versus sitting on the sidelines, being available, mentoring, helping, guiding. But as a franchisee, you need to understand that you actually need to do the work. So don't mistake support for sitting on the sidelines. In any franchise network, guys, when you're looking for the right franchise for you, support is having a dedicated field support officer available, having resources at your disposal, good quality resources, regular training events to upskill you and your staff, one-on-one coaching to grow your business, just an ear to talk to when you're down in the dumps, just to voice out things always helps, and some type of monthly Q&A or monthly training sessions online, and finally admin support. Greg, anything else before we wrap up today's episode of What Does Excellent Franchisee Support Look Like?
No, I think that covers most things. I think it was a really good chat, and I really enjoyed the chat.
Awesome. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Greg, thank you for co-hosting today's episode. Take care, guys. Have a great week.